All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. It's your boy, Jesse, here to drop another 49er video for you. Today's video is going to be the 5 reasons why the 49ers 2022 season will be a failure. Now, before you get all upset with me, keep in mind that I'm going to do this again later on for the 5 reasons of why this season will be a success. I just want to throw out options out there, reasons out there, things to consider when you talk about what could go right. And in this case, what can go wrong for the 49ers to have a down season. Reason number 5 is that the superstars of the team don't come to play football, or you could say have a down season. Think about it. It happens every single year. A fantasy player that you draft that you expected to go off, somebody who's even sometimes been consistent, has a down year. Sometimes it's not their fault. If you look at a wide receiver, it can depend on the quarterback, right? If you look at the running back, it can depend on a line. But it happens every year. I'll give you Fred Warner as an example. Now, Fred Warner ended up bouncing back and having a pretty good year, but I think we can all say safely that early on in the year, and he even talked about it himself, he struggled, right? He got that big money. He was trying to live up to expectations, and things just didn't go the way that he wanted them to go. So, with that being said, it can happen to anybody at any time. Maybe in a setback from an injury, anything can happen. So, guys that I'm looking at would be the Bosas, the Debos, the Kittles, the Warners, Trent Williams, those types of guys. If one or two of them don't live up to the expectation that they have for themselves or we would have for them, that is a reason that the season could be a major down season for the 49ers. Reason number 4, coaching staff continuity. You look at this coaching staff, and really, to me, I love everybody that they brought in. It's an all-star cast of sorts. It really is. But it's a lot of turnover, right? And sometimes when you get the best of the best, things just don't gel right, especially right away. The 49ers lost some key pieces to this coaching staff. You look at Mike McDaniel, you look at Bobby Turner. There's just a lot of coaches that they lost, and coaches that have been with Shanahan for a long, long time. So to lose those guys, replacing them with other really good coaches certainly can cause some continuity issues. And if the coaching staff isn't on the same page or things just aren't gelling the way they hoped, it certainly could be a reason that the 49ers have a down season. Reason number 3 why the 49ers season will be a major failure. All of the players that we have question marks about, or units we have question marks about, all failed. Think about it. The 2 things that 49er fans cannot stop talking about are the offensive line and the safety position opposite of Jimmy Ward. What if the drop off from Tart to either Hufanga, Moore, or Odom is major, major, major drop off? And the rest of the secondary can't pick up the pieces. What does that look like? Or what if losing a left guard and a center who were both Pro Bowlers is actually a big deal? What if Banks isn't ready? What if Brendel isn't ready? Or even worse, what if those guys just aren't that good? We've heard a lot of great things from the coaching staff about all of the players stepping up to take those positions. And the coaching staff obviously believes in those guys, or they would have gone out and tried to replace them. They haven't done that for a reason. But what if they are wrong? What if it's a lot like last year where the 49ers coaching staff believed in the secondary and that relying on Jason Verrett was the right decision? It wasn't. What if that happens again, either the offensive line or the safety position opposite of Jimmy Ward? Reason number 2, Trey Lance. Now, I think most of us, not all of us, but most of us think that Trey Lance is going to be really good. But what if he isn't? What if he isn't ready? What if he's just not as good as what we hoped he is? And you can tell it's hard for me to even say that, but it's a possibility. I mean, at the end of the day, we genuinely don't know for sure what Trey Lance is. Now, we're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together with Trey Lance, and we're doing so through research, talking to people close to him, gathering as much information as possible about who he is, what type of person he is, what type of player he is, everything. But at the end of the day, he hasn't done it for the 49ers for the length of a full season. Now, that's not necessarily his fault, right? He hasn't had the opportunity to do so. But we don't know for sure what it looks like. We have an idea, right? And I'm very confident in my idea. But nobody can say with a 100% certainty that Trey Lance is going to be really good or really bad. If Trey Lance isn't what most of us think he is, it certainly could be a down season. Reason number 1 why the season could be a major failure for the San Francisco 49ers. And unfortunately, this is one that nobody has any control of. We've seen it for multiple years under the Shanahan era for whatever reason. And every year a team has this happen to them. Last year it was the Baltimore Ravens. The year prior, it unfortunately was the San Francisco 49ers. Injuries. You cannot predict them. You really can't do anything about it. I mean, these are major physical athletes that do everything they can to make sure that their body is in the best shape possible to be ready for that physical pounding that they're going to get for a 17 plus game season. But you heard George Kittle even talk about it. George Kittle said that he wishes that the league had 2 bye weeks with a 17 game season. You know what? I agree with him. In fact, when the 17 game season was talked about, Last Second Sports was in the very beginning stages, and that was one of the first conversations that I had on this very podcast. 2 bye weeks would be so beneficial for every single one of these players and getting the best product. Every player by the end of the season is beat up, they're nicked up, whatever. But you cannot predict injuries. You cannot predict how long they're going to last. You cannot predict who they're going to happen to, and you cannot predict when they are going to happen. Those are the 5 reasons that the 49ers season could fail. Now, what I need you to do is make sure you smash that subscribe, smash that like, but also comment down in the comments if you agree or disagree, or if there's any reason that I didn't think of that you have as to why the 49ers season could end up being a down season, one that we're not necessarily seeing. Go ahead and put that down in the comments. Appreciate each and every one of you. Peace.